let's take a look at the lineup for Heat 2A. Lane 1 will be the Miss Exide Mike Jones, then Miss Wellness Plan Rick Christensen. Mill Bay Casino presents the Spirit of Lake Chelan with Mitch Evans. Jim Harvey Motorsports is going to make it in. There's the boat right there, and Pico American Dream rounds it out. Let's go to the dock.
Question is, how well is it fixed?
Isn't boat racing fun? I'll tell you. No, it's the best. It's not going to get any drier if we wait to the Connie. The glue had actually gone off. Well, no, I don't want to do that. The glue had dried as well as we could get it to dry. So it's just a matter now if it's going to stay together.
The trials and tribulations of the owner of the boat. Here come the boats now as we start the heat. There's the green flag, and Pico American Dream takes the lead from the far outside. As we look down from our aerial camera, you can see Pico American Dream is setting the pace. Remember, the inside boat will have the advantage with a lesser course and distance, but the speed can be upheld by the wider course on the outside.
And speaking of the outside, Dick, the new inversion rule that was installed last year, if you won the first heat, you must start on the far outside the second time around. So the better you do, the farther outside you start the next heat around, and that is supposed to equal the competition. But look at the way from the far outside that Pico American Dream, driven by Dave Villwock, is doing it right now.
You know, that boat is so new, I think that probably the crew and the driver don't really mind putting it in a different position on the course just to find out what it does, depending on how the rest of the day goes and where the lane draw ends up for the final heat. So Pico American Dream having no problem whatsoever. You can see Jim Harvey Motorsports in second place just off to the right. That's the yellow and black boat, and that boat so far seems to be holding together, although we'll keep an eye on that right sponsor to see if all the tape and the glue can hold in there throughout the whole 3 laps.
As we look at our leader, the Pico American Dream, the Zodiac Lap Speed is 139, 4 miles an hour better than any other boat out there.
Boy, they are really pushing it, and they are happy with the performance of the engines. There you see the Harvey Motorsports boat in second place with Steve David driving. And again, we're keeping an eye on the right sponsor. Now, that's right to the driver. It'll be left as he comes head on into your screen. I think I see a little bit of tape starting to loosen up. It has. A little bit of tape has loosened up. Remember, it is reinforced with fiberglass underneath. They put the tape on it to just try to keep all of the water off of the glue as it continues to harden on that boat.
Well, the crew of the U2, Jim Harvey and gang, will have the work cut out for him again when this boat returns, as Steve David gives it a good ride in second place on a rough Smithfield Lake course.
And, of course, Stephen David is the defending champion. Here's the guy who would like to be the new champion. He has already won in Phoenix, Arizona this year. He has already won the Gold Cup in Detroit last week. So far, it's an undefeated season for Dave Villwock in the Pico American Dream. Will he make it 3 in a row? We'll find out. He came through some waves there, but he's going to take the checkered flag, and I can see the smile from here. Dave Villwock in Pico American Dream, winner of Heat 2A with a great ride from the far outside. So Pico American Dream, the whole crew very happy, but look at the damage to the right sponson of Stephen David's boat, but he still takes a second place, and I think that's got to make them feel better.
Checking our Fruit of the Loom scoreboard after 2 rounds, it's Pico American Dream with a perfect 2 first-place finishes and 800 perfect points towards our winner-take-all final.
And the Harvey Motorsports boat has 600 cumulative points as it comes back in. Now they're all checking from the dock to see if they see any further damage to that sponson. Look at this. We've got other boat teams over there ready to help in case there's a problem with the boat. Needless to say, a hole in the sponson could cause the boat to sink. They could also load up with water. It could also continue to rip the hole in the sponson. Steve David anxious to get down there to check that damage out. While he looks at the damage there, no damage for Dave Villwock. He's happy.
So how's the ride when you're way on the outside?
Boat's still running great. You know, Pico team got it running great. Couldn't be happier. So we'll just keep slugging it out. It was real rough out there with the T-Plus getting in late and stuff. So we'll just do the best we can, get to the next heat.
Mark Tate is still a question mark. You haven't raced him yet.
Well, I think everybody here's a question mark. Everybody here's real fast. Budweiser runs fast. Smoking Joe's running fast, and now we got the Pico going fast. So it's the most competitive we've ever seen in unlimited hydroplane racing, and we'd like to, keep that going.
We'll see if Dave Villwock can keep his string of wins going. Meanwhile, there you see the damaged sponson of the Harvey Motorsports boat. We'll be back with more action in just a moment. Welcome back to Unlimited Hydros in Kansas City, Missouri, as team owner Jim Harvey shows sponson damage to Steve Woomer, owner. We're ready for the lineup for Heat 2B, again in inverted format.
The fastest boat on the outside is Smokin' Joe's, Mark Tate, and that'll be the pace boat. Next to him, Miss Budweiser with Mark Evans, DeWalt Tools with Mike Hansen, Miss Jennifer with Jimmy King, and computers and applications scheduled for lane 1 has not made an appearance for Ken Muscatel.
We'll check into that. The start is underway, and it looks like Smokin' Joe's is going to take command of the field right off. As we look down from the Labatt Eye in the sky, you can see Smokin' Joe's is getting competition on the inside. Good run for the Miss Budweiser. Mark Evans really pushing him hard.
A great shot from our helicopter as lane number 3. It's the Miss Budweiser leading the way. And remember, this is a 3-lap sprint, Dick.
Miss Budweiser, Mark Evans sitting in the seat that was occupied by Chip Hanauer until last weekend. Now Mark Evans very much in control of the big red rocket. On the outside of him in the yellow boat is the Smokin' Joe's Mark Tate, and he is not giving him much quarter at all. Smokin' Joe's is hanging right on his tail, about a boat length and a half back. Let's see if he can even it up as they come down that front straightaway.
Miss Budweiser first, Smokin' Joe second, DeWalt Tool is third, and Miss Jennifer is fourth.
Jimmy King doing a fine job in the Miss Jennifer, incidentally. He's coming on better and better each race as he gets more of the feel of the boat. But nothing like the perfection of the Miss Budweiser. At this point, that boat is riding beautifully. Rough water on that turn, and she took it without much effort at all. You can see the boat tends to be on the light side. Mark likes it that way. That front end lifts up a little bit, and it just tiptoes on those 2 sponsons. Again, we like to tell people that the surface of the boat touching the water at these high speeds is no bigger than a man's handkerchief.
DeWalt Tool not giving a real good ride today to Mike Hansen. He's currently in 4th place as he tries to catch Jimmy King, who is in 3rd in Miss Jennifer.
Well, we said earlier Jimmy King has been doing a fine job, and he's right up there with the lead pack. The overall leader is the Miss Budweiser, Mark Evans, followed by the Smokin' Joe's, and then Jimmy King in the Miss Jennifer, the U99.9. Look at the ride of the Miss Budweiser. They've got to be very happy with it. The water has been changing, I might say that. It's a little bit smoother now than it was earlier. Dave Vilwak got a very rough ride out there, but it looks like it smoothed down a little bit.
Our Zodiac Lap Speed, 144 miles per hour.
So Mark Evans is setting a very good pace as he comes around the final corner, looking up to the checkered flag, and there it is. Mark Evans wants nothing more than to make Bernie Little a very happy owner, and he has done that, winning Heat 2B. Second place will go to the Smokin' Joe's Mark Tate as he gets a little light coming down for the checkered flag, maybe giving a little wave out there to the crowd.
Our Fruit of the Loom scoreboard shows the cumulative points for Miss Budweiser's 700, tied with the Smokin' Joe's as we lend our way toward that winner-take-all final.
Well, Mark Evans very happy, and there you can see the owner of the boat, Bernie Little, also very happy as he gets Mark a little congratulatory applause coming into the dock. Back in the pits, Ken Muscatel's computers and applications crew is working hard on the boat. They have the prop shaft out. What was the reason they didn't make Heat 2B? Steve talked earlier to Dr. Ken Muscatel.
We couldn't throw it together for this heat, and then we're going to do it, make sure it gets done right for either the next heat or for the last chance. But we're satisfied with the progress we're making.
Let's talk with Mark Evans, winner in that Heat 2B.
We could still get it inside.
So who is faster, Dave Vilwak or Mark Tate or you?
In the next heat, we'll find out in the next heat. Budweiser's feeling really good right now, though. It's riding really nice, and I'm excited to get ready for the next heat.
Did Vilwak run faster with you than Tate did, you think?
Well, I'm not sure. See, we had the inside lane, and that's a lot tougher thing to deal with. So when you're out there in lane 2 and 3 like that, the boats tend to carry their speed. So if we can race them out a little wider, I think we got them.
Which lane do you want next time, then?
God, I always want to go for that lane 1, but we might slip out lane 2, lane 3. We'll make that decision when the final comes around.
We've got a real battle going with the Budweiser, Smokin' Joe's, and Pico. We'll be back in a moment. Smithville Lake, where it's more than just a race, it's a carnival for the fans, but in the pits, a different story. Let's join Steve Montgomery for this installment of the Budweiser Performance Corner.
We're with Budweiser crew chief Ron Brown and his brand new Miss Budweiser, which includes a state-of-the-art cockpit designed by Ron with some changes in technology. Ronnie, some of the same switches, and you made some changes too.
Yes, Steve. Basically, though, the 2 cockpits amongst our boats right now are virtually the same. We start up in here, and we have our switches to start our onboard computer system. As we go down here, this lever is the latching system for locking the canopy. We have our starting sequence switches here. Over here on the left-hand side, we have our circuit breakers. These annunciator lights up on top are for warning systems. And over here, we have our fuel shutoffs. In case of an emergency, the driver can pull the fuel shutoff. As you can see, there are no instruments in this cockpit. The purpose behind that is since we have an onboard system and we monitor as many as 40 different items 60 times a second, we certainly can gather much more information than we ever could do in the past when the driver would come in and say, this did this and this did that. But we know now that we can get a much tighter information span when we have everything on a computer.
Way up front, the same two pedals.
Yes, Steve. On the right, we have our conventional throttle pedal, just like you'd have in your car. But on the left, in your car, you have a brake. But on this vehicle here, we have what we call a canard control, and that's how the driver controls the pitch attitude of the boat. And since we have to monitor this with our computer, we can gather information and end up with graphing like this showing the amount of travel on the canard, the amount of seconds it was into the run. We can certainly overlay water speed and things like that on here too, but this particular graph shows how the driver was using the canard if the wind was getting rough and he was trying to bring the boat down.
Now, if you attend one of our unlimited hydroplane shows around the country, you're also going to see the competition cam's Unlimited Lights, and this was their final race as we look back on the course. Mark Webber took the lead early in the Unlimited Light final, but the race for second was heated. Randy Haas and the Miss Leroy and Dennis Macy battled the entire 3 laps. Rookie driver Phil Bonaccini, Pocket Mechanic is the name of his boat, was alone in 4th place. Last lap, it was Mark Webber in the Miss Acutus taking the win. Dennis Macy beat out Randy Haas for second. Here's the competition cam results. Mark Webber, Dennis Macy, Randy Haas, and Phil Bonaccini. And the top speed for the field, 93.201 miles per hour. A 1996 Gold Cup win was a dream come true for Dave Villwock and the Pico American Dream Team. He's with Steve Montgomery in the pits.
When did it really sink in that you were the 1996 Gold Cup champion?
I think to see all the elation on the people's faces at Progressive Tool. They were just so happy to do this, and then throughout the next week, all the people that came up and congratulated me over, you know, that it was a pretty big accomplishment, you know, and you don't really think about it at the time because you're just into racing, you know, you just want to race and beat the other guys, you know, but when you go through the week and it starts to sink in how important it really was and how many people have tried and how few have done it. It's a special time, and I'm appreciative.
And you can see Dave's wife right in the middle of that celebration. Mike Hansen heading out in the DeWalt Tools as we get ready for Heat 3A, which will be coming up after these messages. Welcome back to Kansas City, Missouri. Dick Crippen along with Jim Hendrick and Steve Montgomery as we look at the big crowd assembled here for the unlimited hydroplane races. Now, the boat on the inside lane this time around will be Steve David, who won here last year, and we talked with him earlier about the races.
You come into Kansas City where you're the defending champion. You get a little more respect when you roll into a town like this?
Well, everyone's out after you, yeah, so it's a kind of respect where the teeth are gnawed, you know.
Racing has its highs and lows. You went from a pretty good season. Your boat ran well. You won here. Then all of a sudden you lose your sponsor. You miss a couple of races. How does the future look for this team?
Well, it's right now it's race by race, city by city, getting sponsors, and a lot of real good prospects, but nothing firm. So you race with a lot more heart than wallet at this point, and makes the team a little tougher, I think. And then when you do get the money back again, I think what it does is add money to that heart, and then boy, these guys are going to be tough. When you give a little bit of money, they're going to be really awesome.
So Steve David has lane 1. It's Mitch Evans and Millbay Casino in lane 2. Mike Hansen, DeWalt Tools in the middle of the pack. Miss Jennifer in lane 4, and Computers and Applications on the outside.
Ken Muscatel's boat is fixed and running, and here comes the green flag. There goes the field. They are off in the start of Heat 3A. Jimmy King in the U99.9 lane 4 got himself a real good start. Let's see if he can beat out the Jim Harvey Motorsports team on the inside. Steve David is leading him into the turn. We'll see who comes out. It is going to be Steve David in the Harvey Motorsports team taking the lead out of corner number 2. He started in lane number 1, taking full advantage of riding on the buoys for a good lead over the second place boat, which is Mike Hansen out of Madison, Indiana, in the DeWalt Tools boat. Mike would like to get a good ride for that boat. He extended it, made it a little bit longer in the center section in the off season, and he does all the work on that boat himself. There you can see first and second, and look, he's got a battle on the outside. Miss Jennifer snuck up in the rooster tail. Jimmy King is now battling for second place against the DeWalt Tools.
Oh my, we do have that battle, and Jimmy King, as you mentioned earlier, has improved every single lap while he's taking this boat.
Miss Jennifer and DeWalt Tools matching bounce for bounce as they battle side by side into the turn. Jimmy King on the outside, Mike Hansen on the inside. Let's get a report from the DeWalt pit.
Dick, here in the Madison camp, they like the fact that Mike Hansen is staying ahead of Jimmy King, but the young man in the Miss Jennifer doing a tremendous job in the red, black, and yellow boat.
There you can see the land's view as they look from that pit area out there, and they see the DeWalt Tools boat piloted by Mike Hansen. You can't even see the Miss Jennifer because she's on the inside of that rooster tail to the outside of the course. There's Stephen David now in the Jim Harvey Motorsports boat. And there you can see the relationship to the DeWalt Tools in second place, and the relationship from that boat back just a hair to the Miss Jennifer piloted by Jimmy King. So the battle is really for second place. It looks like the Jim Harvey Motorsports boat is going to hold on to the lead the rest of the way around.
An improved ride for Mike Hansen and DeWalt Tool, currently in second place, as we look at the Zodiac Lap Speed of 136 miles an hour for Steve David in the lead boat, Harvey Motorsports.
He's coming around this time to look for that checkered flag as the battle for second place continues. Look at the ride of that boat. They've really settled it down now. He got a little bit light there as he came into some rough water, but now he takes it right over the bow, and the boat just keeps plowing right ahead. He's now looking for the checkered flag. A great ride to the finish line for Steve David. I'm sure after the crew has been working on that patch that you can see on the front sponson there, he'll be very happy with the checkered flag for the Harvey Motorsports team, winners of Heat 3A. Second place coming in after a tight battle all the way around, the DeWalt Tools boat of Mike Hansen out of Madison, Indiana. And let's go to our scoreboard.
And our Fruit of the Loom tally shows that with a 400-point finish, Harvey Motorsports has a total of 1,000 points on the day, and that will get him into the finale.
A good run for the defending champ of this race, Steve David, in the Jim Harvey Motorsports boat as he comes back in. Oh, look at the intensity on Mark Tate. Why? Because he's going to face up against Pico American Dream and Dave Vilwalk and the Miss Budweiser, all going head-to-head in Heat 3B.
Don't tell me I know. You're right on your game plan, right?
You got it. That was for Heat 3. That was in the game plan. Yeah, now we just win the final, take a check, and go home.
You're ahead of where you were last year, I think.
Well, we have to win this one because we have so many friends back in Florida watching, Jeff and Sherry and our families, and so this is a win for those guys because they couldn't get up here this time.
And the patch held.
The patch held. What a team, huh?
Well, he's got to be happy, and with good reason. Heat 3B, whoa, don't touch that dial. Those boats will be sailing literally. Stay with us. Outside of Kansas City, Missouri, it's the Kansas City Hydro Fair. The boats are warming up for Heat 3B, which is really going to probably be a preview of the championship race this afternoon. It's going to be really a heated heat. Mike Hansen had a great race in 3A. Steve is down on the beach, and he's talking with Mike now.
Good job. How's the boat ride?
Boat ride's great. We just need a few more miles an hour. It's the T Plus had at the inside and have a little bit more miles per hour than we do, but it's a heck of a boat race between me and the wellness plan, or whatever they're calling it this week. Jimmy King and the Leland's boat. They do a heck of a job, and it's a lot of fun.
Consistency should have put you in the final by now.
Yeah, we're in the final. I mean, that's one of our fortes is consistency, and last year we lacked a little bit of that, and I think we got it back this year. We just need a little bit more boat speed.
Well, Mike Hansen's going to find a spot on the shoreline to watch this race. No question about it. It's going to be a big one.
Pico American Dream, Dave Vilwalk in lane 1, Smokin' Joe's Mark Tate lane 2, the Bud with Mark Evans lane 3, followed by the Wellness Plan and Miss Exide. The owner of Pico American Dream, Fred Leland, is down on the dock. Let's go down and get his thoughts.
Fred, is this a preview of the final, or do you save a little here for the final?
I'd say this is probably kind of a preview to the final.
Will he hang it out or save the boat a little bit?
I believe we went to win.
It looks like it's going to be a good start this time around. The officials are all poised and ready to pull that white flag and wave the green. Let's see if they get it. They're coming around. They fan on the turns. The outside boat leading the pack through. Everybody else paces themselves off of that boat. Look at Smokin' Joe's positioning. There's the green flag flying, and we've got a start. It looks like Smokin' Joe's. Mark Tate has taken the lead out of lane number 2. Pico American Dream staying very tight on the buoys on the inside as we look down from the Labatt's eye in the sky. Look at Pico try to close in on the lead boat.
Oh, boy, Smokin' Joe get a great start there and down that back chute, but look at the other two. The blue boat is Pico American Dream. The boat on the right, the red one, Miss Budweiser. They're battling for second.
That seems to be almost unbelievable with the run these boats have had so far today. But you know, the word was around the pits before this race that somehow Smokin' Joe's has found more power. Everybody's talking about it down there, and they are proving it on the course right now. There you see a great head-on shot. You lose a little bit of the perspective. Smokin' Joe's has a pretty good lead of about 7 boat lengths on the second-place competitors, and you've got 2 of them battling for second. Inside boat, the blue one is Pico American Dream. Outside, the red rocket, the Miss Budweiser with Mark Evans at the wheel.
They're battling now for the O'Doul's High Point Championship points as we look from the Labatt's eye in the sky and look at the Miss Budweiser with a bigger lead now over Pico American Dream.
This is the first time this season that Pico American Dream with Dave Vilwalk has been sitting back in 3rd place. Remember, that's the brand new boat that they're running out here today. Miss Budweiser is the boat they're trying to catch. A very solid 2nd place, still leading and very comfortably out front is Smokin' Joe, Mark Tate. And there you see Mark as he completes the turn and comes back down onto the front straightaway. The Zodiac Lap Speed, 145 miles per hour. He is really showing them some rooster tail out there, as they like to say, as opposed to just exhaust. The battle for second, just as tight as ever. Dave Vilwalk trying to take advantage of that inside groove. A little bit of a rough up there for the Miss Budweiser. The water continues to roughen up here on Smithville Lake. And look at Dave Vilwalk. He has closed it down again. Vilwalk is really starting the challenge.
I don't think that the inside lane is the place to be. Most of the drivers during testing and qualifying said lane 1 was too rough. They prefer to be on the outside. Steve Woomer with a big smile on his face. His boat, Smokin' Joe's, right here is leading.
They have worked hard. They've had a lot of bad luck. As you know, this boat again last weekend was in a bad crash with the Miss Budweiser up in Detroit. But this time it takes the checkered flag for the heat. A big win for Steve Woomer, the owner of the boat, and of course the driver Mark Tate. Here's Mark Evans, the driver that's sitting in the seat that Chip Hanauer occupied a week ago in the Miss Budweiser. Oh, Pico American Dream has gone down. Dave Vilwalk trying to get the power back to it. He gets the power in, gets back up. He is going to finish in 3rd place. Boy, he ought to count his lucky stars on that when he almost lost 3rd place. So here are the cumulative points.
Our Fruit of the Loom scoreboard shows Smokin' Joe's and Miss Budweiser tied by 1,000 points. Pico American Dream, lucky he restarted. He has a slight 25-point lead on the day.
Mike Jones in the Miss X-Side is coming in at this point. He doesn't have enough points for the final. He will have one last chance in the last chance race, or the consolation, if you will. Coming into the dock now, the Miss Budweiser. Mark Evans taking the rope. You can see Bernie Little. He just snuck up there on the dock, and he'll talk to his driver right away. Let's go down to Steve, who's with the winner, Mark Tate.
Mark, talk about your start. It looked like that's where you got your advantage.
Well, most definitely. You know, it's a very short run coming off the first turn to the starting zone, and if you're not up there where the pace boat is, you're going to be late.
You were not late.
No, the Camo Power Smokin' Joe boat was, you know, we were even a little behind Mike Jones at the start, but, you know, give credit to the crew. We made some changes at that time. We definitely had a better boat under us for the 3rd heat than we did the 2nd.
That looked like a final heat. Did you save anything?
Well, you always save something for the final, and I'm sure we'll be well prepared for it.
Well, we told you before, the word was around the pit. They found some extra speed somewhere. Ken Muscatel's crew readying that boat for the next heat. They had a bearing problem with the drive shaft. We get word that the Miss X-Side will have a different driver for the consolation battle that'll be coming up shortly. Pico American Dream went through a rooster tail from the Miss Budweiser. They've got to repair. We've got to take a timeout. Welcome back to Smithville Lake outside of Kansas City, Missouri. We're in the consolation race. That's the last chance, a wild card to get into the final, if you will. Ken Muscatel's computer and application boat on the outside. Mitch Evans in the Mill Bay Casino inside, head-to-head going into the last lap. You'll remember the computer and applications boat. Ken Muscatel, they had to work on that drive shaft. They had a bearing problem. Water was getting into the boat, so they did a good job in repairing the boat. But look at the piston packer. This is the only piston packer boat that is on the entire tour for the unlimited hydroplanes. Mitch Evans is doing a great job. A lot better ride than the Miss Excite is getting with Rick Christensen behind the wheel. He's got some problems. He's got the strobe light on, the canopy open to tell everybody he's all right. Muscatel has a brand new boat, and for him, that is a real thrill. He bought it from Jim Harvey, and right now that boat is out front. They are going to take the checkered flag, so it's a win for Ken Muscatel. It was worth the effort to fix that bearing.
So that means that computers and applications, he'll be the trailer boat, and he gets into the final for the first appearance of 1996.